Hey guys, welcome back to Pam's Cutting Board. So if you watched the last video, you know we are doing preparation for Christmas. So that Christmas Day, we don't have so much to do. Now, I went ahead and put a little bit of oil in my pan. I use a cast iron skillet to make my cornbread, and we're going to make the cornbread for our cornbread dressing. And I've put probably about a tablespoon of oil, can you see, in the pan. I'm going to put it in my oven, and I bake my cornbread on 425 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my oven on. And I'm sorry if I sound out of breath, but this cold and sinus infection, I think it's flared up my asthma, and I'm having trouble breathing a little bit. So if I sound out of breath, I am. But I'll go ahead and I get my skillet really hot, and then I mix my cornbread up. And I mix the cornbread same as if we're getting ready to eat it for dinner. There's nothing different with my cornbread. Some people add their spices and things to their cornbread mix, but I don't. So I'm going to place you on a quick pause. I'm going to get my stuff together. I'm going to mix my cornbread up, and we'll put it in the oven. You hear Wayne hollering at me? He's in the bedroom. I've told him I'm filming, but he don't listen to me half the time, I think. But I'm going to turn you guys down, and I'm going to show you what the ingredients that I use to make cornbread. So hold on. Okay. I hope you can see. So I don't usually measure. So what I've done is I poured out about 2 cups of milk. I don't know that I'm pretty sure I won't use all of it. But I don't have buttermilk. So this is whole milk, and I've put about a tablespoon of vinegar in it, and I'm just going to let that kind of sour so I can use it for my cornbread. I have an egg, some self-rising cornmeal, and some self-rising flour. This is actually cornbread mix, but I still add just a little bit of flour to it. I'm going to start out with about 1.5 cups. This is a 1/2 cup measure, so I'll need 3. I'm going to add just a little bit more. I'll make it thicker than I normally do. So that's 2 cups. I'm going to have to refill the tin. I'm going to put about a 1/2 cup of self-rising flour. I'm going to put 1 egg. Let me get a little bowl to put that in. And you want to make your cornbread at least the night before, so it has time to cool down, and that way you can crumble it up for your cornbread dressing. Once it cools, I'm just going to put mine in the microwave, so that way nothing can get to it. But if you wanted to make it more than 1 day in advance, I would suggest that you put it in the refrigerator so it doesn't spoil, because it will mold. It'll get moist and it'll mold. Okay, and I'm just stirring up, making a mess, and I'm stirring up my flour and my cornmeal mix. Okay, and then I'm going to add my egg. A lot of times I add 2 eggs, but since eggs are so high here in my area, I've cut down a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to add my milk. I'm going to add about 1 cup of it. That may be all I need. I've made cornbread all my life. It was one of the first things that Mom taught me how to make. And I just never did measure. She just taught me how it's supposed to look, the batter, and that's what I went with. Now that's just a little too thick for me, so I'm going to add probably 1/4 to 1/2 cup more. Rest of that milk I'll put back in the fridge. And I'm going to get rid of this whisk. And use my spatula. Well, that's all there is to making cornbread. One of the simplest breads you'll ever want to make. I'll add just a touch more so it'll spread out even. So out of 2 cups, I've used about 1.5 cups. Hello, Mr. Maggard.
Hi, madam.
We've got somebody joining us. He's making his cameo appearance.
Is she here making fun of me? That's what she does. She kicks me when I'm down.
Wayne's feeling better because you can tell he's joking. I don't know what has been wrong with us. We have been sick just about ever since school started. But that's kind of how you want it. Like cake batter.
What are we making?
Cornbread. For the cornbread dressing.
So don't kind of mention the pies. I think Pam made a couple of pies. I know she did. And I'm begging you to watch the video.
He doesn't think I made some pies. He knows I made some pies. You know why? I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, the oven is at 425, so I'm going to get my skillet out and we're going to put the cornbread in. Now you can make this the day of, but you're going to have to let it cool. And I've got just a little bit of extra oil and I'm just going to pour that in with my batter. It doesn't hurt to do that. It just adds a little more flavor. Let me turn you guys down. Wayne's back in the bedroom listening to the news. And you can hear it. And you see my skillet. This skillet, I always make cornbread and biscuits in. I never make anything else in it. It's my bread skillet. That's the way my mama did it. That's why I do it. I don't wash it. Once this bread comes out and the skillet cools, I'll just wipe it out with a wet rag. I may wash it ever so often. I don't know, maybe a couple times a year. But I do wipe it out. That'll make some good cornbread dressing. And I use my mother-in-law's recipe. I've kind of revamped it a little bit, but like I said, my mom, she baked ham. She didn't do turkeys or dressing. That was just something she just didn't like doing. So I usually don't time it to see how long it takes to bake. So, but I am going to time it for you guys. I just usually look at it and can kind of tell. But let me put the timer on and see how long it really takes. I'm going to guess around 25-30 minutes probably. Okay, I've got it set for 30 minutes and we'll just check it and I'll let you guys know. Dogs are going crazy or something with a loud muffler. going down by the road. But we'll bring you guys back and I'll show you the cornbread and we'll work on the rehearsals.
This is my sous chef.
What are they all doing?
I'm beating my rock candy up.
For what?
I'm gonna make me some tree bark. Yep. Well, really, it's peppermint, but that's how it's tree bark. It's how they grow up at the North Pole.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Okay. We'll be right back. We'll show you how Wayne makes his tree bark.
Oh, how many of you got snow? How deep?
We don't yet, but they're giving snow for this Christmas. A white Christmas. Okay, your cornbread is almost done. It likes like a couple of minutes. So it's going to take it 25 to 30 minutes at 425 degrees. I am heating some water in a double boiler. I'm going to melt my chocolate and we're going to make our, as Wayne calls it, tree bark, but it's peppermint. My timer's getting ready to go off with the cornbread and we'll get it out and I'll let you take a look. My timer has just went off. I'll go ahead and get my cornbread out. You can see, good and brown. Let me get my rack so I can turn it out so it doesn't, if you leave it in the pan, it kind of sweats from, from where it's cooling down and it's not so good. So I'm going to turn it out on a rack, and once it's completely cooled, then I can pop it in the microwave just for storage. So hold on. You see how clean this pan is? The bread just turned out. It's seasoned really well. I didn't spray it with non-stick cooking spray. I just put a little oil in it and heated it up. Once it cools down, I'll take a damp rag, wipe it off. That's all I do for it. Set it back here and let it cool. I've got my bread on like a little cookie rack, so it get an air and circulate and cool down. So now I'm gonna turn you guys down. We're gonna heat. We're gonna melt some chocolate, or chocolate, or a peppermint bark, or a tree bark, as one calls it. He's crazy, guys. So hold on. And you can do this in a microwave if you wanted to do that. Let me show you what kind of chocolate that I use. This is your melt and make candy bark chocolate. And I'm just breaking it up so it's a little easier to melt. And again, if you don't have a double boiler, that's hard to say. You can put it in a microwave and just melt it. I wouldn't do no longer than maybe 30 minutes intervals. Once you get it out, stir it, see where you're at. Because if you over bake it, or if you over microwave it, it will seize up on you, and then it's no good. You can't bring it back. So I wouldn't do it no more than maybe 30 seconds. Did I say 30 minutes? 30 seconds at a time. And get it out, stir it, then pop it back in for another 30 seconds. Not minutes. That would be bad. Definitely be overseased at that point. I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done this evening, and then I still gotta make some supper for me and Wayne. Laid out some chicken. I've got probably about a half to 2/3. Yeah, more like a half a pan of water. And then I just put my other pot over here. If you didn't have an actual double boiler, you could get you a bowl that fits down in there, a heat-proof bowl. You could do the same thing. The chocolate is just about melted. Once it gets completely melted, I'm going to pour it over here. This is just a sheet pan. I've sprayed a little bit of cooking oil on here, so this parchment paper will stay where I want it. I'll pour it over here, and then you can put it in the fridge, but in this case it's cold enough. I'm going to put it out on my front porch for just a few minutes. We'll let it kind of harden back up. Okay, this is done. Okay, I'm just going to pour it over here. We'll see you guys back in a little bit. Okay, you see this? We'll take it out on the front porch, let it cool down. Here's the tree bark. That's what he calls it.
Christmas tree.
So we're gonna let this harden up. Once it does, then we can break it into pieces and have candy.
That's pretty.
What are you doing?
Merry Christmas to you and me. We love you guys. It's been a long time since I've said that.
Okay.
That's
So
pretty.
we're going to take a break. We're going to make some supper, and then we'll be right back to make some other stuff. Okay, here's our peppermint bark. I just brought it in from outside, and you can see it's hardened up really good. You can take a knife and cut it if you want to, but I just take my fingers, break it into pieces, lay it on a pretty platter, and there you go. And if you wanted to use white, you could. Mix it with some white chocolate. You could add anything you wanted. You could add M&M's, some toffee, some nuts. And I mean, you can mix it up and add whatever you wanted to. Make it your own. But this is what we like. Okay, on to the next project.
Are we ready?
So we've got the peppermint bark, or as Wayne calls it, tree bark.
I never did like to scrape it off that tree. It's froze out there.
You're crazy.
I want to.
Now, a lot of people use this white chocolate, and you certainly can. It gives a different flavor. Look at it. Let me show you. And that's Wayne's mother's platter. Oh, that's a good shot.
Down.
And you will want to put your candies on when your chocolate is still soft, so they'll stick on there. And put more than what you think you need, because you're going to lose some in the transport.
Where's the patties? It tastes just like a...
Yeah.
Have you ever bit into a York peppermint patty?
It does. Now, when you add the white chocolate, it gives it a different flavor to me.
Man, this is good.
But the chocolate, just the plain chocolate and peppermint candies, it does remind you of eating a York peppermint patty. The flavor. It's different texture, but same flavor.
If you can get better than a York, what's better? And one more word. I'm saying please, for your sake, make one of the lemon pie or the butterscotch. I mean, I'm telling you, somebody eat on ours.
Yeah, we've got a huge two-legged rat problem.
Man, I'm telling you though, please, trust me, make at least one of them.
Butterscotch used to be your favorite, but I think you're about to switch over to the lemon. Lemon has always been my favorite.
But this, if you can beat a York peppermint patty, that does it.
And I mean, look at that on your Christmas table. You can set that up as on your dessert table or hors d'oeuvre. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to thank everybody for your prayers for me. Pam needs them now, and we've not quit praying over the prayer book. Even though we're sick, we keep praying. Please pray. Love you all, and
we got more. Yeah, we got more to add. We're just taking a break. We're going to eat supper, and then we'll be back to finish some more cooking. See you in a little bit.